Knowing each and every part of CELPIP reading is critical to achieving a high score on test day. After watching this video in its entirety, you'll know exactly what to do in CELPIP reading. So, how many parts are there in CELPIP reading? Well, the CELPIP reading test has 4 parts. The first part is reading correspondence. The second is reading to apply a diagram. The third is reading for information. And the fourth part is reading for viewpoints. In total, the CELPIP reading test takes 60 minutes to complete. But before we get to the first part, be sure to click that subscribe button for more great CELPIP videos. Let's take a look at reading part 1, reading correspondence. In reading part 1, you will read a letter and answer questions based on what you read. You'll have 11 minutes to complete the reading and answer the questions. During the test, you'll be able to see the time remaining. There are 2 reading texts and each is followed by questions. There are 11 questions in total in this part of the test. Here is an example of CELPIP reading part 1. First, you read the main text here on the left. This text is a personal letter about a general topic like a holiday or family event. Then you'll answer 6 multiple choice questions about the text. Next, you'll read a response to the first text, which is a letter from the recipient of the first text. That will be followed by 5 multiple choice questions, which makes 11 questions in total. So, the approach to this is fairly simple. First, read the text. Then, answer the questions. Next, you read the other text, and then answer the other set of questions. For the first letter, read the text carefully. Then, answer the 6 multiple choice questions. The questions are all based on information from the first letter, like this one that begins with "Hi, Darren." The questions are incomplete sentences, and you need to choose the correct option from the 4 multiple choice options to complete each sentence. To answer the questions, you'll have to skim the letter to find the section that relates to the question. Scan that part for key words from the question. If you can't find the same words, look for similar or related words, as the information may be paraphrased. Being able to identify which words are the key words and phrases will really help you to know what to look for and where to find it. The second thing to do in reading part 1 is read the second text, which is a response to the first message. As you read it, you will see 5 blanks within the text. Each blank will have a drop-down menu with 4 multiple choice options. You need to choose the best answer that makes sense and relates back to the information in the first letter. In this case, we can see, "Hi Jeffrey, good for you. I didn't realize that your company holds a raffle." And then you click the drop-down menu to see your 4 options. To find out the answer, refer back to the first letter from Jeffrey to Darren. Here are some tips to help you do well in reading part 1, reading correspondence. In reading part 1, first read the letter quickly to find out the main idea and purpose. The key word here is quickly. Don't worry about trying to remember everything. Identify the writers of the correspondence and their relationship. For example, are they friends, family, or co-workers? Then, when you answer the questions, scan the text for keywords to help you find the correct answer. Eliminate the wrong answers if you are not sure what the correct answer is right away. Remember, the answers for the second letter are often in the first letter. That's all for reading part 1. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to check out e2testprep.com by clicking the link in the description below. we have a great CELPIP preparation course that you can sign up to for free. Let's look at reading part 2, reading to apply a diagram. In reading part 2, you will see a diagram or some kind of graphic and read an email that responds to what you see. Reading part 2 takes about 9 minutes to complete the reading and answer the questions, and you will be able to see how much time you have. In this part, there is an email message and a related diagram, which usually features illustrations and text, often with 2 to 4 different sections. Finally, there are 8 multiple choice questions to answer. This is what reading part 2 looks like. On the left, you will see a diagram with some items and information. On the right, there's an email which is about the diagram. The email might be personal or work-related. In the email, there are 5 blanks to fill, which you do so by selecting the answer from a drop-down menu of 4 multiple-choice options. You will need to refer to the diagram to find the answer. Then, there are 3 questions at the end that are incomplete sentences that you need to complete by selecting the correct multiple-choice option. So what do you do on test day? To answer the questions, you'll have to locate specific information and be able to recognize the connections between the items in the diagram. You'll also need to connect purpose and tone to understand what information is needed in the email. In reading part 2, first read the subject of the email. In this example, the email subject says, "Camping for school excursion." Then, in the diagram, we see teepees, cabins, yurts, and tents. So we can infer that the writer of the email is trying to decide which form of camping would be best. In the email, we read, "I met with Principal Harris this afternoon to discuss the camping trip for the students. We've narrowed down the options to 4 sites, with each one bringing something unique for the kids. All 4 choices provide." So then we go back to the diagram and look at the camping options and see what they all have in common and choose the best answer. To do well in reading part 2, reading to apply a diagram, just follow these handy tips. First, read the email to work out the topic and what is being discussed. In this case, it is about possible camping options for a school excursion. Next, skim the diagram, paying close attention to the organization. This will help you to quickly find the specific information you need when you answer each question. Another common question for number 6 is to identify the relationship between the email writer and the recipient. So look for clues in the subject heading and tone. If it's a very casual tone and a personal topic like a birthday, it'll probably be family or friends. But if it's a formal or semi-formal tone and work-related, it might be coworkers. Finally, if you're not sure about an answer, eliminate all wrong answers until you're left with a best guess. That's all for part 2. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to check out e2testprep.com by clicking the link in the description below. We have a great CELPIP preparation course that you can sign up for free. All right, let's take a look at reading part 3, reading for information. In reading part 3, you will read a text and answer questions to demonstrate your comprehension. In this part of the test, you'll have 10 minutes to complete the reading and questions, and you'll be able to see how much time remains. There's one reading text with 4 paragraphs. The text is written to inform you about a topic you probably know little about. Then there are 9 questions, which are statements that you have to match with the text by deciding which paragraph, if any, supports the information given in each statement. This is what reading part 3 looks like. You will see 4 paragraphs on the left labeled A, B, C, and D, with an option E for not given. Then, on the right, you will see 9 statements. The instruction on the right says, decide which paragraph, A to D, has the information given in each statement below. Select E if the information is not given in any of the paragraphs. Let's take a look at what you'll see on test day. In reading part 3, you should skim each paragraph to identify the topic of the text and the main idea of each paragraph. Here, we can see the first paragraph says Aurora Borealis, meaning light of dawn. So we can assume that the text is about the Aurora Borealis, and this paragraph is about what Aurora Borealis is. Skimming a bit more, we can see countries like Canada, Russia, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So we know this paragraph is also about where the Aurora Borealis occurs. And then we can move on to the next paragraph. After that, read the statements. You should know which paragraph to look at to see if the information is given there. For example, any statement we read about what or where, we can go back and see if that statement is based on paragraph A. Go to the paragraph and read it for supporting details. Remember that the wording in the statement will often be paraphrased from the wording in the text, so read carefully to identify the matching information, even when expressed in a different way. Here are some tips to help you do well in reading part 3, reading for information. In reading part 3, skim the paragraphs for the main topic, which means read it quite quickly. Ignore words you do not know and look at the main words until you have the basic idea. For example, is the paragraph about the history? Or is it an explanation? Or a variation? Or about locations? Once you've worked out the topic of the paragraph, move on to the next. Then, read the statements carefully. Take your time to understand the statement, then go back and find out which paragraph contains that information. Scan the paragraph for keywords or ideas from the statement to locate the information. If you cannot locate the information, choose E, not given in any of the above paragraphs. Also, watch out for distractors. Sometimes there will be slight changes in the meaning that make the statement similar to, but not truly matching, the information in the text. Remember, there will be at least one statement for which you need to select E. Great. As you can see, this test requires practice. Check out E2 Test Prep for high-quality practice questions. Go to e2testprep.com to get started. All right, it's the last part. Let's look at reading part 4, reading for viewpoints. In reading part 4, you will read an opinion article from a newspaper and answer questions to show how well you've understood it. You have 13 minutes to complete the reading and questions, and you will be able to see how much time remains. There are 2 reading texts, a longer website article and a shorter comment made by a reader of the article. There are 5 questions after the first text and 5 questions as blanks to fill within the second text, for a total of 10 questions, all multiple choice. This is what reading part 4 looks like. On the left, there's an opinion article from a website that will express at least 2 different views. The topics are often about issues affecting society, such as education, business, technology, or health. After the longer opinion article, there are 5 questions. The questions are incomplete sentences that you need to complete by selecting the best option from the 4 multiple choice options. After that, there's a shorter reading text, which is a comment a reader made in response to the opinions expressed in the first article. The last 5 questions are blanks within the second text, which you complete by choosing the best option from the drop-down menu. First, skim the opinion article on the left. Identify the topic and pay attention to the people mentioned in the article and their general position. What is each person's viewpoint? Are they for or against something? Pay attention to what is given as a fact and what is someone's opinion on the topic. The questions will cover both of these, so you need to be able to understand the difference. Then read the first question statement and the 4 options. In this example, we can see that question 1 says, according to Dr. Albright, a ban on junk food advertising. From our skim read of the article, we know that Dr. Albright is mentioned in the first paragraph. So that's where we need to look to find the general or specific information that matches one of the answer options. Then, for the second shorter reading text on the right, we need to choose the best option to fill in each blank. This requires understanding the viewpoints in the main article and often also making inferences based on what you've read. In this example, the comment begins, "While I agree that advertising junk food aimed at children is a negative approach, Glenwood makes a good point that with obesity," then you have to choose the best answer. To determine which option is correct, you should go back to the first article and scan for Glenwood to see what his point was. Here are some tips to help you do well in reading part 4, Reading for Viewpoints. In reading part 4, one helpful tip is to skim the first reading text, the opinion article, and as you do, take notes and pay attention to the different people and their opinions. This will help you to find the answers quickly and easily. Then, when you read each question statement, pay attention to the keywords or names given. Scan for those in the article to help you find the right place to look for your answer. After that, you can narrow down the options by scanning for the keywords from each option. Remember to also look out for keywords or ideas that may be paraphrased in another way using synonyms or different word forms. Finally, if you still don't know the correct answer, eliminate the incorrect options, and then you can make a good guess. That's all for the reading test. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out e2testprep.com by clicking the link in the description below. We have a great CELPIP preparation course that you can sign up to for free.